Hello, everyone. I hope that you can see me and hear me very well. I've been reading the chat, so I have seen that there are lots of you from different regions in Ukraine, from Kyiv, Sumy, Lubny, Kharkiv, Kremenchuk, Lviv, Полтавщина, Вінниця, Турка, Івано-Франківськ, Біла Церква. Great. Even Greece. Nice. So today we have not only Ukrainian but international webinar. That's great. So while we are waiting for others to join us, let me first introduce myself. My name is Diana Головань. I'm an NLT consultant for National Geographic Learning Ukraine. I work in Linguist company. Linguist is the official representative of this publishing house in Ukraine. And we are very happy to have this publishing house in Ukraine because it really brings lots of inspiration, lots of modern skills together with perfect English teaching. While we are waiting for others to join us, let me tell you a bit about some new things that we have. Now in Ukraine, we have much more literature for professional development methodology. I'm going to share this link with you right now, so you can see that you can use this link and have a look at what interesting books we have. There are some books about lexical approach, not only the lexical approach, but also some extensions like teaching collocations, implementation of this book. There are some books on assessment, which may be useful for methodologists, or if you're interested in different ways to assess students, especially in terms of in all innovations that Ukrainian educational system goes through, it may be interesting for you. There are also some interesting books like language learning strategies, critical thinking in ELT. So if you are interested in professional development and you are ready for the new horizons, just follow the link and find out what interesting propositions we have for you. Actually, that's it. And let me invite you to today's webinar. I'm a bit nervous because it's been already 2 months that we haven't seen each other, and I'm really missing doing this activity. So now I'm very happy that finally it's time for us to continue our professional development. And I think we can start. Let's start from a little warm-up activity. Now, you are going to see some statements about me and about my summer. Read them and decide which of them are true, which of them are false. You have 1 minute for this. You don't know my summer, or you probably don't have me on the Facebook, so you didn't follow my pictures. Just using your intuition, try to guess. So I was in the countryside, I played volleyball, I saw a beautiful sunrise, I touched the jellyfish, I was on the boat. All true. Great. Great guess. Now I'm going to share the answers with you. Thank you very much. No, actually, to reveal a bit, not of all of them are true. Some of them may be like vice versa. maybe. Or, yeah, so, but some, of course, are. True is false. I played volleyball. Great. Yeah, I don't look like a volleyball person. Yeah, do I? Okay, thank you very much for taking part in this activity. False. Okay. Let's have a look at my pictures, and here we have. I was in the countryside. You can see that out of my photos that yes, I was in the countryside. I played volleyball. No, and you were right. I can't play this game. I have tried for several times, but it was impossible. I just take some photos with a big ball, pretend I'm playing football or whatever. I saw a beautiful sunrise. Actually, this year I haven't, but I saw beautiful sunsets. And here you can see one in the photo. I touched a jellyfish. Again, that is false, and you were right about that. I didn't. I just saw very big jellyfish. You can see them. They are from very high reach. This photo is taken, but they were really huge and impressed me a lot. I was on the boat. Yeah, that's true. I went down Dnipro in one of the Saturday evenings in July. All right. Thank you very much, actually. And now, new task for you. Look at these photos again very, very carefully and try to memorize details. Okay, you have 5 more seconds. So your task is just to try to memorize the details, everything, just anything you can do. Okay, now let's check your memory. The first exercise, just to warm up. What animal was in the photos? What color was the ball? Next, how many photos showed grass? And what color was my dress? There are a lot of jellyfish as of sea this year. I have read about this. Yeah, that was like a disaster, so it was impossible to swim. Okay, so now you have the answers. Jellyfish, orange ball, great. 2 pictures, blue. Okay, great. Wonderful. So you have a nice memory, I think. Great. So what animal was in the photo? That was a jellyfish. We were talking about this. What color was the ball? Orange, probably, and black. How many photos showed grass? That's 2 of them. What color was my dress? I think it's green. Something like green and grayish, probably. All right. So that was an activity to warm up and to activate your students' thinking skills. Actually, I played a game like this with my 5-year-old goddaughter, and that was a game. So we had to look at the cards just for 5 seconds, something like that. And after that, there was a set of questions asking things. It was something about numbers, but also some kind of questions like this, like what color was, for example, what color were the 2 fish, if something like that. And it amazed me that these 5-year-old had like a brilliant memory. She could recall every single detail, of course, in terms of what she can understand. It means not reading texts, but what she can see, she recalled very well. And it really impressed me because for me, it was much more time than 5 seconds to recall all these details. I have to concentrate, I have to build some logical skills. And that just showed me this difference between how we and how children get the information, perceive the information, and work with it. So they have a bit more like a visual memory, they're more attentive to details. And that's what we need to do in order to practice with our young learners, right? They still have these skills, so let's help them develop them and not forget. So when they are grown-ups, they don't have these problems. And here is a great quotation from Anne Griffiths, the photographer. The moments that I really feel resonate, you cannot art direct. They are real. They are more subtle and more beautiful and more universal than a post picture. This is something about photos, how to use photos, how that they resonate with us, if they show real feelings, real people in real circumstances, not those photo shoots where people prepared a lot, but these real things. And this is what our books are full of. And they really help to build these connections to personality, to bring these emotions into the lesson, so to make it more memorable and more motivating. Some other quotation. Through an image, through a picture, we are able to feel something. We are able to humanize or to connect with that person or that topic, even if they are thousands of miles away. Again, this is about taking photos. This is about how we can, how we remember what emotions we have, that when we have something real, we feel connected, and it doesn't become just maybe book or paper, it becomes something bigger. And that is why I recommend textbooks from National Geographic Learning, because they are full of these images, they are full of these emotions, they are full of these connections. Hello everyone who are joining us. Today we are talking about using photos as a springboard to the school year. We have already done a warm-up, which you can do actually with your students, with your summer photos, or you can ask their parents to send some photos, maybe, and then make a kind of collage, and then ask them to recall some things. Of course, it's not advisable to do two activities, true, false, and memory game, because while you're doing true, false, you will be more concentrated on the photo. So you can do one in one lesson and the second lesson, but with different photos. Now let's come down to the topic, and let's discuss some ideas what we can do with photos in the books. Again, we are talking about real life photos that shows actions, that shows emotions, that shows people doing something, not something that they were prepared for, but who captured a moment from a life of another person. They are really interesting. I always remember these young learners' eyes full of interest, full of engagement when they have a look at these photos. Let's imagine you found a beautiful photo of a diver undersea. So on the first side, here are not so many details. It could be just fish, diver, water, swim, all words that come first. But we can ask students a bit more questions. For example, how many fish are there? How many fish are yellow fish are there, right? What colors can you see? Just second graders, they come back from summer holidays. And here is the first lesson, and we practice counting, we practice colors. That's what they were studying a year ago, right? If they're a bit advanced, more advanced students, you can ask them something like, what is the diver doing? Ask them to do some activities with the photo. Circle legs, draw a star on an orange fish, write your name on your favorite fish, something like that. Yeah, do these simple activities so they get connected with this photo. But that's not all. Of course, it can be like teacher-student way of interaction. When you ask questions, you elicit the answers, but there can be some different ideas. For example, you can use the same questions, but you prepare them on the printed cards. In this case, students will work in pairs or small groups. They will take one card, they will read the card aloud and test their partners. This is one way of doing this activity. Another way it is to hand out these cards with the tasks to different students. They read it to the whole class. Maybe it's a bit easier for you. It's not so easy to divide them into pairs in the first class because you have big classes. That's why you can do it in this way. You can make it a habit, and you can start every new week or every lesson or every month do an activity like that, but nominating different students. Another thing, and together with speaking skills, they will practice reading skills in a very natural way, just to play a game. Student match questions 1-4 with the answers. And here you print questions and you print out the answers, and they, maybe one student has questions, another student has answers. They read, they try to find, or they have all cards together and they try to match. Anyway, this is a great activity to practice reading skills and collaboration skills, because they, in this second version, they understand what they need to do to operate, not just read an answer, but to manipulate with paper, manipulate with cards, doing this matching activity. So it can be very engaging. And you will have the lesson of revision, which was built on one single photo. Another activity. What do you have in common? I like these activities very much when children connect other experience to their experience. In this case, they can firstly find out about other people, that other people can be different. It's very important to realize in our today's world. And on the second hand, they will understand. Students, how unique they are, that they have their personality. So talking about other people and myself will help me to look at myself, to understand myself better. Again, this is what about our new education is about. So you can ask some questions like, who is sad, who is happy, and how do you feel? Yeah, they can be different. I'm not sure that the boy in the foreground is sad, but probably for some people he can look sad. Are they wearing a school uniform? You see that here boys have very interesting school uniform. They all wear hats. And here they can say their kids, in our school we have a school uniform, but we don't wear hats. That is what we have different. Or our school uniform is dark and theirs is light. What do they have on their desks? Books, probably, a pen somewhere on the background. What about you? What do you have? And again, we listed these school things, clothes things, so we just with one photo we can revise so many different topics and to check what our students remember from the summer, within the summer holidays. You can use this Venn diagram when you contrast and compare. So in the circles, in the outer circles, you write different things, both you write similar things. For example, uniform, book. They can, if they are only second graders or third graders, you can ask them to write only one word, but it will be much more behind this word, and they can use it to talk then. What else? Something to have just slipped out of my mind. So this is activity. So if you have this time, if you want to practice reading, you can do this activity, like compare and contrast things. These were just some ideas how you can start the lesson using photos. You can find thousands of them on the internet, but I cannot help but mention that our National Geographic Learning books, they already have these photos. So you don't spend time looking through the internet, finding the best suitable photo. You already have them, and you can use them to develop, as you can see here, not only speaking skills, but writing and reading skills as well. And also, I would like, when we talk about the beginning of school year, actually, this is a very great day or period to start building motivation. So when we are fresh from the summer, we are ready to reach new heights. We want to excel in everything. And here we can help our students. And if we are insistent, we will lead this line till the end of the school year. So you can use photos of school children in the beginning of the lesson, just to warm up students like that. And after that, you can use this photo to have this conversation about motivation. When I prepared this, I was looking for different sources talking about motivation. And I like this work of Daniel Pink and the book Drive, The Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us. It is in English, but also it is translated. So it's not the fresh book, it's something about 2011 or 2014. And it's talking about MAP. This is what actually intrinsic motivation consists of: mastery, autonomy, and purpose. And today we will have a look at how photos can build up to and help you talk to students, because it's easy to talk about motivation with maybe 14 years old, 13 years old teens, but with primary students, it's very difficult because for them it's some abstract things and they are not capable of understanding it. So we can use pictures just to help students. I will show you how we can do it. But before, I'd like to read quotation from the book. When teachers create lessons with a focus on intrinsic motivation, they drive students to participate and excel. And it's very important for us as teachers, not just to give knowledge, but to provide these opportunities to develop. And you can start your school year by this, but you can come back to these activities from time to time just to maintain this level of motivation and add to it. So what are my ideas? For example, if we talk about mastery, what means mastery? Mastery is how good I am in this skill. And if I want to be good at something, I need to practice it. If I practice it, I can make mistakes. And actually, it's okay when I make mistakes, when I learn from mistakes, when I have multiple attempts. So very often it happens with the children that they start doing something, they cannot do it, so they leave it, they move to another lighter things. But we as teachers, it's our job just to help students, to slightly push them not to not to give up doing this. And first, it's through conversation. We say then that, okay, you can try. So you can even say that, okay, you have 3 exercises. You can make mistakes. It's okay if you make mistakes in the first and the second exercises, but if you are careful, if you're attentive, if you listen to your teacher, you will understand, and your third exercise will be much better, and you can even show them this. So look, here you have 10 mistakes. Here you have only 3 mistakes. You see your do you see your progress, right? So this is how we do it. But in the beginning, before all exercises, it's great to set clear learning objectives, and referring to these objectives will help you to build this conversation. What objectives can be and how young learners can respond. For example, you just ask them these questions. How many new words are you going to study this year? Of course, it's very difficult for them to imagine it. This is the whole year, but they have some options, and they can have some maybe understanding of their strengths. They can tick an answer, or they can raise their hands, or they can stick the post-it note somewhere near, right? Anything just to show them. Just to show them that it's possible they are not the only one who chose that. How many new texts are you going to read? So we are not going to talk to them on some difficult teaching things, but we can very easy start helping them build their own aims. It's very easy to make with something they can understand. They know that they are going to read, so they can choose how many texts will they read in this year, how many songs they are going to sing. And it will really I'm very sorry, I'm just from time to time I'm come back to the chat. So you're writing lots of comments about motivation. Okay, I'm at the end of the webinar. I think I will look through the chat and answer some questions if I have missed them. Okay, so this is what we can start doing with primary students, not only with old students. And then they can write down these numbers maybe on their book covers, on their notebooks, and by this, then they can come back after each unit and add. So this time I have learned 15 new words. Now I have like 1,185 to go. Or I've read 2 texts already. Wow, now I have only 13 texts to read. So they will see how they are closer to their goals. We can also use photos to start this conversation about motivation. It can be teachers, and of course, they need some feedback. Feedback is what they have done well, what they could do better, what they can do next time to get higher score or something like that. It can be teacher-student or student-student, and we need to teach them. They, for example, can test each other vocabulary, make like these pair dictations. They can check each other's reading skills and then leave a star for reading without mistakes, 1 more star for intonation or for answering the question. So you can create these very simple things just for students to answer and to reply. Also, using the photos again, just for them not to talk about some imaginary things, but to something on their own. So you look at the photo and you ask, what are the children doing? They are sitting in a circle, they are playing a game, it's an English lesson, maybe they are singing a song. So you can just collect these ideas and write down them on the board. What else they can do in English? Maybe they can read texts. Let's remember, they can do exercises, they can do homework, they can act dialogues, answer the question, so they can listen to something. So you elicit everything you usually do in the English lessons. Then you ask them to compare. What about you? What you can do? What can't you do? What is difficult? Can you play a game? Can you sing a song? Can you tell about this picture? Anything. And here is like the question with a star. It means it's not for, if you only start implementing these things, of course, for students, it will be difficult to answer. In this case, you can provide them a little support like options, or maybe, it's better to have options or class survey, something like that. But if you are doing it constantly, your children will be developing these skills, self-evaluating skills, and they will understand that, okay, I would like to learn something else. But we will, how to use it, we will also look a bit later. The next thing is autonomy. So it was mastery. Mastery is how well I can do things, that it's okay to make mistakes. To become a master, I need to study. To study, I can make mistakes because they will lead me to success. To follow my success, to understand where, how I'm going to achieve it, I need some clear objectives. How many things I need to study, what I'm going to do, right? That was about mastery. Now, autonomy. Autonomy means that our learners are independent enough to study, for self-studying. we expect them to do it by the end of their school years, maybe in the end of their school years, not in the primary students. But we need to develop these skills, because this is not what is gained from the first attempt, right? When we talk about autonomy, it means that they have some knowledge, and they not only produce this knowledge, like maybe retell the text or write the dictation or complete an exercise, but they can apply this knowledge to the personal experience. For example, I know present simple, I know where to add S, I know how to make negatives, I can tell about my day, right? Something like this. When they are autonomous learners, they can choose. And sometimes it's very difficult. Try to ask your young learners, so would you like to sing or to read? Or would you like to do it at home or in the class, something like this, right? So you give them the choice and you teach them. And you sometimes ask them questions. Why do you choose so? Do you like reading more than singing, or singing is just easier for you? Something like that, just to start them analyzing. They can also, so you can say them, okay, so today we are going to study new words. You can choose, do you want to listen to a song with these words, or do you want to listen to a story with these words, right? So you help them, like help you teach them. When they take part in this teaching process, they will be more engaged, because it's not only teacher, but it's us, right, who have this. And like on the highest level, autonomy means I want to dig deeper, I want to learn more about this topic, I come home and I will read, or I will study, I ask my parents, something like that. It is not from the start. It's okay if it is not from the start. But if we constantly come back to it, we help them develop this thing. Personally, I was very thankful to my teachers. They taught me to become this autonomous learner, to manage my time for preparation, manage my effort, so how much I need to this, to that, look through books, how to find new information very quickly. And when I entered the university, I felt it was much easier for me to study in the first years, just because I had already these skills, and lots of my group mates didn't. And they failed a bit because of it. So to start, look through the book, choose interesting info. And here where actually photos help us, because for young students, just reading texts or topics, it's not very easy. They won't understand, but when they see photos, they can like put a star if they like it, or respond to it, or just show you, okay, it may be interesting, they are doing something. Here you can also, great thing, probably in your textbooks you also have them, it's like a content, and you can see that each topic has a photo. So you can ask students just to open their fresh new books, just to get acquainted with the books. And actually lots of textbooks have these tasks, like look at page 67. How many boys are there? Something like that, to get students familiar with this book, right? And we can create these tasks by ourselves. So we ask them, look through all these 12 photos and put maybe a smiling face or 5 stars, or from 1 star to 5 stars, to what is interesting to me according to the photo, right? Why not? And they will be expecting for this topic where they put their stars. And you will know that, okay, they are not very interested in talking about unit number 2, about my things. So I need to prepare something more engaging for them, right? Or I have to create an interest. But they are really looking forward to talking about their houses. So I can make maybe these lessons harder. I can add some extra things, just because they will be motivated enough to study more complicated things, right? So this is, again, information for you. Also, it can be great to have this class survey. What do you like? Sing, read, play, write, dance, draw. So you just collect answers, who likes what, and you understand that, okay, they don't like reading, so I need to do something with it. They like playing, good. I have attended lots of webinars in the summer, so I have a full set of games. Now I can practice with my students. They can dance. They like to dance, so great. We can create movements, we can shoot them, we can make some performances for parents. I, for example, had a class who didn't like singing at all. They liked to listen in songs. They can work with the songs. We prepared lots of exercises with the songs, like grammar, completing the gaps, maybe matching games, lots of things, but they just didn't like to sing, so it was impossible. And they were just second graders, and that was like that. So that was it. So we didn't sing, but I used these songs just to do something that is closer to that group. With another class, that was okay. There was like karaoke competitions each end of the term. That was wonderful, not forgettable. That was their way. And another way was also great. But I knew the things and I exploited them. That's why we need to use these first lessons for this to gather information, especially if it is a new class. And even if it's not a new class, they usually grow up. In summer, they grow up very fast and they come back to you totally different. They were so nice babies in the first grade, but then it is the second grade and they come to you much more with totally different interests. Right, so it's better to do these things, and you can use photos just to start the conversation, and it will be a great background to collect words, to tune them. So, great thing to do. Also, what I like very well is students' feedback survey. In this course book, look, which is now available in Linguist Company for primary schools for students from the 1st to the 4th grade. There are lots of extra resources for teachers, and one of them is this student feedback survey. When I first saw it, I saw it was a bit strange, and probably not every teacher will be ready to get it. But then I understood that actually it's not for the teachers, it's for teachers also. But this is what we need to do if we want our students to be autonomous, to be independent, to complete their homeworks, to be engaged in the lessons, not only on the 1st of September, but later on. It means that we have this like both two-sided interaction. We ask them what they like, what they don't like. Even the first one, the teacher helps me. You may think that you did nothing, that maybe you need to work on your skills, but your students will circle 4 or 5 and you will see, okay, so this is a normal way to go. Or probably vice versa. The teacher listens to me. You think that you always listen to your students, you do something, but lots of them will write you 2 or 3. Okay, so maybe I need to record my videos and to check how well am I in this skill. So these are actually the first people who can evaluate your work by doing this. Then again, what they like is in class, what is not fun in class. So interesting thing, and if you are ready, you can prepare something by it, or if you have this Look textbook, you can start using it. You can use it like at the end of each term, at the end of each month, it depends. I suggest not using it very often, but from time to time it can give you a great like side view of what is happening in your classrooms. Let's move on. Purpose. So we were talking about mastery, we were talking about autonomy, and the last thing is purpose. Actually, to master things, to become autonomous learners, our students need to see the purpose, why they do it. Why do I need to learn? Why do I need to read? Why do I need to write? And why? Because it gives us this understanding that I'm not just wasting my time here. It's not just like I will study 10 words and then the bell rings and I go out. No, I need to study these 10 words in order to prepare a great maybe project to put on the school wall. Or maybe here are some ideas. I can make presentation for parents. I can make a performance for peers. I can take part in competitions, right? So if you use some Skype or other activities that connect your school to other schools, it's also great. You can notice that it's a great motivation for your students. They understand why they need to do it, because it's something that out of the class. You can create your Facebook page or Instagram or TikTok page and put stuff there. You can have a chat for parents and put the stuff there, and your children will know that it's the chat where they can perform their best works, for example. It works very well with primary students. And it gives them this chance to see why they need to do it, not just for a good mark, but for some reason more important than just going to school. And to start this conversation, we can ask students, look, these children, what are they doing? Is it hard for them? Look at the girl, the fourth girl. She can't do it. What does she need to do? The conversation may look something like this, like, what do these children need to do to complete the activity? To be fast. Okay. How can they be fast? They need practice. Okay. Practice. Can they use only one attempt? Maybe no. It's okay to try several times. So what do I do if I fail? Should I be upset? No, of course not. You can try again, right? So it's very clear situation here. Just pupils on the sport lesson, having some troubles, climbing the rope. And then we can say, okay, let's imagine it's English. How can you reach this top? Do you also need to practice? Do we need to write maybe dictation to practice writing skills? Maybe yes. Is it okay if I fail? Why not? And for that, you can use like peer check. So before they write the big real dictation, they can dictate each other just to practice, and then they're ready to perform. Or you can do like online dictation or something like that. Just so they need this feeling, you know, like in kindergarten, they prepare a lot, and then they perform in front of the parent. This is like their achievement. Now, wow, our hard work is because mom will come and see me. And here you can use the same thing. Like it's for a social network post, it's for the performance, something like that. But it's great if we not only have it on our minds, but we also explain them and have this conversation. So we have very clear situation. I will repeat myself. So we will have this clear situation, children having troubles in sport lesson, and then we compare it to their English. And it's more understandable for them, I guess. Some extra ideas. Also, photos are a great way to complete not only speaking skills. They are great for this, and I think there are lots of ideas what you can do to discuss it, but also you can use it for different things. The first one is actually the first extra idea is for actually brainstorming words, maybe for developing speaking skills, mistakes. Is the way to success. That's right. And actually, we also need to remind it ourselves. Me, for example, really, because sometimes it's very hard to acknowledge that you make a mistake, but you need to be brave enough. And maybe it's time to teach from our kids. So you can use these photos to describe what they can see. you can use their imagination. What season? It's summer. Why? Right? So we ask them some extra questions. I see the sun, or she's wearing a t-shirt. So anything. So to help them notice details and explain what they think and why they think so. What's the weather? Is it warm? Again, it's like brainstorm all words that they were studied in the previous years. What is the girl doing now? Then we start to using their imagination, help them be creative, asking, oh, thank you for answers. Here you are working with me. Great. Happy summer, nice weather, jumping in the center of the city playing. Yeah, great. Where was she before? Maybe at school, maybe at home, maybe she was at the parents, and now she's going to her grandmother. So maybe children will put here their own ideas just connected to their own experience, and you will learn something about your students also. So this is, again, so you can use this, but again, remember this quote in the beginning of the webinar. Try to use not prepared photos, but these live photos. Try to look for photos that show real emotions, real movement, they're interesting. And if you look through this lookbook, which is this photo for, you will see that they are full of these photos that you can really use them. But apart from only speaking, you can use it for different things. For example, let's have a look at this cute bus. I think it's really cute, something like a school bus, somewhere in, I guess, China. And so it's a bit more complicated activity, maybe for third graders, for fourth graders. So what I suggest, I found this on the internet on someone's blog, but I like it very much. So you do it like step by step, and by the end of the lesson, your students will have their own stories. And it's a great way for revision, I think. It is really motivating, so they will come up with something real, and they will see that, okay, I still can do, I know a lot of things. So what they need to do? First, they brainstorm 20 words. I think you will agree with me that brainstorming is a great way for shy classes. So if your students don't want to speak out, brainstorming will help them, because like nobody evaluating you, and it doesn't matter who answers. You can be silent and someone will work, and then maybe I will be so engaged that I will also take my part, because I will see that it's not dangerous, right? Nobody will be angry if I make a mistake or something like that. So you brainstorm 20 words, any words, like those that were in the comment above, like sun, summer, happy, running. So different words. You ask them to give me more, something like that. Then you ask them to put these words into categories. It may be nouns, adjectives, verbs, or people, feelings, actions, or about people, about things, about nature. It depends, right? So it's a great way to develop this thinking skill, like categorizing. You can ask students to participate, or you can ask, it's better to ask students to participate, at least to add one category. Then you, and they can copy this, everything into their copybook, so they will recall them how to take a pen. Then they add to each category. Okay, let's look. Category people. So you have here man, woman, children. What else can be there? Maybe it's not in the picture, but it can be. Teacher or friend, right? Things. So we have bus, houses. What can be? If you go to school, what do you need? School bag, pen, and like it will be much more than one word. Then you make word combinations. So clever people, or best friend, or go to school, take a book, funny weather. They can use the words from the chart. If it is impossible, they add to make new word combinations. Now let's try to make a sentence. Let's take, for example, friendly, good friend, nice weather. I go for a walk with my friend when the weather is nice. a bit complicated, but just the first thing that came to my mind, or best friend. So let's make it bigger. Let's make it a sentence. I go to school with my best friend, or something like that. Then finally they will have lots of sentences. Now try to make a story. It's better, of course, to give them some frames, like the title of a story, how many sentences it should have. Maybe write the story that finishes like, and then the lesson started. So it will be the story about how they go to school, their way to school, right? I was in the bus, my best friend was with me, the weather was great. Then there was a cat somewhere, the driver stopped, we helped the cat, and we go to school, and then the lesson started, something like that. It can be the whole class story, if you understand that it's what your students need right now, is just ideas all together. Or if they are independent enough, if they have lots of knowledge, you can also ask them to write their own stories, or maybe to make group stories, or to have it as a homework if it is allowed in your school. One more extra idea. You prepare a photo and you cut it in 2 pieces. You give students one piece of the photo. They put it on the copybook. Another student have another. They don't see each other's photos. They need to explain how to finish this photo. So the second part of the photo will be hand drawn, right? So I can say that it's a part of a heart if I am a student B and I have the picture below. So I will explain to my student, there is a girl, she's wearing a yellow shirt, an orange dress. Is the dress long or short? Oh, it's short. She's got blue tights or leggings. She's holding chalk or a pen. But before they start doing it, of course, you need to brainstorm words. For example, I don't think that lots of students know this word chalk. So you can ask them, okay, what is this? Can it be only white or blue also, or pink? Okay, what you can draw with it? So you just have some warming up activity, preparation activity, then you maybe recall colors, you recall clothes, you recall present continuous, and then they are ready to describe and to draw. It's much better to have these activities, pair activities with students when they need to not only to listen, but also to act or to respond with an action, not only with words, because for young students, it's much more understandable. And especially if you only start teaching them how to work in pairs, it's like a must. So the second pair doesn't only respond. They have to put a tick, to draw a face, to do whatever, but to make an action, to find a card, to stick a sticker, anything. So it should be an action, manipulative. So they use different things, and each actually it's more natural, I think. This is only from my experience when I was working with primary students. All these ask and answer activities finished very fast. But when it was ask, answer, and tick what is right and what is where was the problem, then the activity were much more successful. And so actually now I'd like to finish my presentation telling you this nice quote from cultural educator Aziz Abusara. English isn't my native language, but it has opened the world for me to engage with the world, to have dialogue with the world, and eventually to be part of the change in the world through English. So you see, this is a very powerful tool that helps us connect with the world, make changes, make people listen to you, And that is why we should be proud that we teachers, we do such an important thing. So we help our students open the world. And if we do it in the correct way, in this engaging way, if we help them build this intrinsic motivation, maybe all these photos, all these activities from their primary school will help them become really independent, modern citizens who will make real changes and make the world we live in a much better place. Let me just very quickly make a quick overview of this course, which I was taking photos for, and which I was mentioned today a lot. That is the book Look. It is for state schools, for private schools, from the 1st up to the 4th grade. It's got permission of Ministry of Education. So it can be used in any school if you decide to choose this textbook and if your students also like it. The book has very clear structure. One lesson develops one skill, and like within a unit, you master some vocabulary and grammar. So your first lesson is vocabulary lesson, then it is chant, which is often presented with grammar, which presented with a chant. I'd like to say one thing. If you stay till the end of the webinar, I'm going to announce you this creative competition, and you have chance to win one student book. So be patient. I'm going to announce it very, very soon. Next two lessons are reading and grammar. Reading and so one lesson is reading. And again, your students will learn some new vocabulary, but in the text, there will be also previous words from the unit. All texts have audios, there are some exercises, and in workbook, there is the same text, but with other activities. So they have lots of opportunities to practice reading the text, actually. Then there is grammar, another grammar, a bit more advanced version of grammar 1, so they will develop some skills. Then there is a song that, again, that compiles all the vocabulary, all grammar structures, and gives students opportunities to practice language in a fun way with movements, dancing, acting out. There is one lesson devoted to phonics. There will be some letters. There will be reading rules. And from level to level, they are more and more complicated. So together with language, speaking, listening, reading skills, you also develop these basic skills as understanding phonics, accuracy in reading, accuracy in writing. And the last lesson is video lesson. This is an interview with children. They are answering questions on the topic. And again, surprising, but they will be using the same structure, the same vocabulary. So again, your students will need the same material, but in one more new perspective. There are some additional things. Each second unit, you have revision, and you have 2 extra lessons. It can be school trip. This is a video lesson, or traveling to different parts of the world, which finishes then with a project. It can be a reading. There is a fairy tale or a science fiction text with some great activities and questions for students to discuss. It can be also functional language or a game. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them. I'm just going to look through the chat. Today you're very active. Memory games, story making, to choose between 2 activities, photo puzzles. Describe the first part of the image. Yeah, great. So I think these are some notes from the webinar. Wonderful. Thank you very much for all kind words that you are sending me here. It's a great pleasure for me. Thank you a lot. Thank you very much. Okay, now your homework. So if you are one of the teachers who are ready to do their creative homework, who want to practice themselves, I have a task for you. And here you will get an opportunity to win a student's book Look. We will present it to the best answer, and 3 other participants will be sent a game and a set of souvenirs for teachers. 1 set will be sent to the first person to answer. So if you are quick, you have more chances to get the prize. And 2 other are again for interesting original ideas. So you need to go to our site, linguistandgel.com.ua. After that, you need to choose in catalog, you need to choose, just 1 second, Look. So you go to primary students, you choose Look, you open it, and there you will be sample до підручника Look. You choose any sample, look through it, you choose 1 photo, and you write ideas how to use this photo to motivate students for the lesson, which is photo from, or for any lesson, or maybe how to use this photo to motivate them be engaged in the unit. What if child lowers her level and doesn't want to work with any more text or words? Wrote 5, read 5. Add claims, I did anything, I need no more. Oh, yeah. Yes, it happens sometimes when students are not very motivated. Let me just read your question 1 more time. What if child lowers, doesn't want to work with any more text or words? I understand. So you give him the task, he does the minimum, and he doesn't want. So I think here is the problem, and not in the tasks themselves, just in general motivation of the students. So again, you can help your student maybe see the final aim. So you can show them, for example, so here is a minimum 5 words. You can do this activity. In this case, you will be able to complete maybe the test for 75%. If you do more, you will be able to do more. Or you can ask you can make pairs and ask more motivated students to work with less motivated. You don't tell them this, of course, but you give them the task. So brainstorm ideas. And if the motivated students are more active, those will see and they will participate. I sometimes am not a very motivated student. I remember my classes. So examples of others helped a lot. Also, you can help them to make this line a bit higher. So today you write 5 words. Okay, let's just try to do 1 more. Or maybe you can start using different activities. So you talk to a student. Okay, you don't really like reading. You don't really like writing. What actually do you like? And you do it in a friendly way. So how do you spend your free time? What do you like watching? What do you like playing? And you can use his answers to prepare tasks. So if he likes computer games and they are not very offensive, you can use heroes from these games to prepare the next task or something like that, right? So if it is a text about a friend, so it's not a text about friend, but a text about your favorite game character. What will you write now? I think you know more about him or her, right? I remember once I tested students in one school, and there were different students. And one boy, he was, first of all, he was very shy and afraid of everything. He was so afraid that he didn't want to answer, but he had really great level of English. He just didn't want to show it because for him it was better just to stay silent and then let the teacher make me go, right? So, and I started just a conversation with him, and it appears that he is fond of one of computer games, which I, for a lucky coincidence, I knew some character names. So I asked, okay, so who's your favorite character? Is it? So I remembered some. And he started to talk to me, and then it was great to finish. So it's sometimes it's great to have this chat. I hope I answered your question. If you have no more questions, let me thank you a lot for taking part in this webinar. I hope that you will be joining our future events also. And very soon I'm going to announce the next webinar, and to tell you the secret, it will be on the topic assessment in the primary learners classroom. I think it's something very important, and it's something about maybe not only formal but formative assessment as well. So some more ideas how to make it and how to help students not to be afraid of it. So after the webinar, you will receive the letter that will give you the link to the form. You complete the form. After that, within several days, you will be sent a certificate. If you want to take part in the competition, here is again the information. You need to choose a sample unit, prepare ideas how to use a photo from any page to motivate students for the lesson of the unit, and you send your piece of writing to my email, Diana Головань @linguist.ua, and the final date is August 20th. For the first one who will send me your answer, you will definitely get a game and a set of souvenirs from National Geographic Learning. The best answer will be sent a student's book, Look, for you to open the world with your students, and 2 other interesting ideas will also get a game and a set of souvenirs. Thanks a lot. If you have any comments, you can write it to me or maybe respond to email with certificate, with any questions that you would like to discuss, but you don't want to don't want to discuss it right here. Okay, so I wish you the great end of the summer. So use these final days to energize yourself, to relax, to get more emotions and great photos, to use them then on the lessons. And of course, have a great beginning of school year, and let it be easy one, let it be inspiring one, and let it be the one that will probably even change your life. Thanks a lot, and see you very soon. Goodbye.